Yo, what is up everyone? Jay here with another Fire Emblem Heroes video, and today we're going to take a look at this double mythic hero banner that's just been revealed, and it's pretty crazy. I'm pretty excited. It's a really cool surprise. You know, we usually expect one mythic. I mean, we've definitely gotten double mythics before with like Freja and Triandra, and like of course the mythics and legendaries like Veronica and Embla, but I don't think we've ever had two mythics that are mainline characters, because usually if it's two mythics, I think they're usually OCs like Freja and Triandra. Thor and Atri, those are legendaries. Atri's a legendary, so this is a first, I think. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is a first. But either way, it's a really cool idea to have Fomortiis and Gotoh at the same time. Even though whenever they started these double mythic slash legendaries or mythics and mythics, like I was always questioning why they put them together instead of just spreading them out. You know, so you can actually make, you know, your intelligent system, you're trying to make your game last longer, so why not, you know, spread it out? But either way, I'm not complaining because it's a really cool mythic choice, and Fomortiis here is amazing. Now, unfortunately, this is a spoiler if you haven't played Sacred Stones, because this battle sprite is Lion. I know I just spoiled it, but you're gonna see it anyway. The battle sprite is Lion. He does become the Demon King at the end of Sacred Stones, and Fomortiis is the final boss of Sacred Stones, and it's one of the most memorable boss fights in the game, or in the series, I'd say, because of how damn big Fomortiis is. And you can see, like, he just looks amazing. Fomortiis is such a one of the coolest looking bosses. You know, and this time he is a colorless armored beast, which is crazy, and he's an insane anima mythic. And it's cool we're getting anima mythic because, you know, anima mythics have been, you know, compared to dark mythics especially, they've always been lagging behind. There hasn't been that many good ones. Like even Arvel, who's pretty good, he's not like insane or anything, but now we have a really strong anima mythic to, you know, be along the likes of, you know, stuff like Medius or Embla. So Fomortiis here is an armor unit and amazing sprite, amazing art. Ravager, so this gives him -1 special cooldown at the start of combat. If he's alive, he inflicts a special cooldown charge -1 on the foe, and the attack defense -6 debuff on the foe during combat. And then also if he's transformed, he grants special charges, so basically special fighter for free. And if he's alive at the start of combat and the foe initiates combat, he reduces damage from the foe's follow-up attack by 80%, which we've seen before on stuff like Halloween Mur's Weapon Refine. It's also on Kanangus, I think, having that you know, 80% damage reduction on the second hit. And for standard weapons, that means the follow-up attack means it's a second strike, and for the brave effects, it's for the third and fourth strike. So this weapon and this kind of effect is going to make him very, very annoying to take out. We've seen it before, but it's always really good to see on this kind of armor unit. And then the start of turn, if he's adjacent, of course, to only beasts or dragons, he gets attack +2, and also has distant counter, which is the standard effect for any kind of beast armor. He goes with bonfire and nightmare, which is his A skill, which is what makes him insane. So this basically gives him the ability to stop people's actions within 4 spaces of the target if the foe initiates on him. So it's basically like Sather's C skill just on crack, if you think about it, because there's no res check. You don't have to worry about stats. You basically just have to have them initiate, and you stop all their turns. So it's like, it reminds me of Sacred Stones when you're fighting him at the end of the game. You know, you have all your team just trying to chip him down, and here he just stops all their actions, and also on top of the fact inflicting attack defense -10 on the foe and having more damage reduction along with his 80% on the second hit. Then he has 30% on the first hit, and then he has attack defense -10 on top of the attack defense -6, which is a -16 attack and defense debuff that you pretty much cannot avoid. So Nightmare here along with his weapon is actually insane, and I think it's one of the most dare I say it's broken. I think this is actually crazy because he's already an armor unit that's going to have a ton of bulk with along of his stats, with all the damage reduction. Then he's going to have a far save skill. You can also make him a near save, of course, as well. So he's going to be able to cover his allies. So, you know, Fomortiis here is no joke, and it shouldn't be surprising because he's literally the final boss of Sacred Stones. So they really did him justice, I think, and he's going to be a menace to deal with for sure in the anima season. And he comes with Beast Follow-Up, which is a new beast skill beast skills that they've been releasing that removes the condition transform, and then this one just gives you a guaranteed follow-up attack, which is good because he doesn't have any kind of follow-up attack to, you know, give him, because otherwise he'd have to run quick or post or something. But yeah, Ravager and Fomortiis is insane. Definitely one of the best mythics in the game, I'd say, because of the fact that he can just stop your actions. I mean, I said it's like way better than Sather, but Sather's an offense mythic, obviously, but with her, it's only one, you know, column at a time, but this guy can stop it within 4 closest foes within 4 spaces. So They have to be within 4 spaces, but that's a huge range. That's not going to be hard to get. So if you have a bunch of allies like close by, you're going to have to kind of avoid this effect if you don't want to just have your units die. Because if they all stop their actions, then he's just going to come in and then kill you probably. Because he can make a guaranteed follow-up attack. And even if he doesn't kill you, he's still going to do like a lot of damage because of all the attack defense debuffs. So yeah, he is really a nightmare. So I'm going to have to watch out for Fomortiis. I really want to pull him. He's definitely going to be a sought after mythic. And I'm glad that he's in the game. Definitely didn't expect him. I know a lot of people were expecting a non-coast, but Fomortiis was also on the list, of course. But to be with Gotoh at the same time is pretty crazy. So here's Fafnir trying to do something, and he's just going to die. Fomortiis is going to reduce his damage like crazy, and then it's going to trigger Bonfire and punch Fafnir in the face. So yeah, that is Mythic Fomortiis. And then the second Mythic on the banner is Gotoh, the White Sage. This is really cool because Gotoh is one of the most important characters in Arcania lore. He's a really cool guy. He's a light mage. If you guys don't know, Gotoh is one of the surviving divine dragons that actually, because he discarded his Dragonstone, he can't actually transform. But he was basically one of the most important generals in a sense to Naga, helping command humanity. And he's also the teacher of Garneth and Maloa, the father of my girl Lind. So Gotoh has a lot of importance, like I said, and I'm glad he's here. And he's a light mythic, and he's a colorless infantry tome. Now he's not as crazy as Fomortiis for sure. I don't think he's as crazy, but he's definitely pretty damn good in his own right. So Brilliant Starlight. I always wanted Lind to have this, of course, me being biased, because Lind wants to destroy Garneth, and if you guys don't know, Starlight is the tome that counters Imhulu to actually take out Garneth. So I wanted Lind to have it, but with Lind getting her recent ult and also knowing how important Gotoh is, I can't be mad. I'm glad that, like I said, I'm glad he's in the game with Brilliant Starlight. This gives him -1 special cooldown at the start of turn. If he's alive, he grants defense res +6 and the ability to reduce the damage from AoE specials by 80% to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn. So this is like Nagi's Weapon Refine, kind of having that AoE damage reduction by 80%. But it's, except for Gotoh here, he can give it to his allies, which is pretty crazy. And we haven't really seen this kind of effect on support unit. We've seen it before with like Flame, obviously, and Elamine, who can give the in-combat damage reduction, but AoE damage reduction, I don't think we've really seen that giving it to your allies. I don't think. But either way, this is a really good effect because you're going to be able to tank a lot of hits from AoE nukes. And AoEs can be really annoying to deal with. So Gotoh is going to be able to provide that awesome support. And then also, if he's alive, he grants attack res -6 on the foe during combat, and also neutralizes foes' bonuses to attack and res, so low attack res, and also has the partial no follow-up and 7 HP healing. So Brilliant Starlight is a pretty good weapon for sure. Comes with Iceberg and his PRFA skill, Gift of Magic. If unit initiates combat or the foe's range is 2, he inflicts attack res -10 on the foe. So now we're just getting to crazy debuff stats. -10, just like Fomortiis had. And unit makes a guaranteed follow-up attack. And also, if unit receives consecutive attacks, he reduces damage from the foe's second attack onward by 80%. So it's very similar to Fomortiis in the sense that you have this 80% damage reduction with AoEs and also in just regular hits. So if you receive a brave hit from someone, you're going to reduce the second hit from 80%. And if the foe's range is equal to 2, initiates combat and the foe can make a follow-up attack. Am I reading it right? If foe with range equals 2 initiates combat, and foe can make a follow-up attack, foe makes a follow-up attack before a unit can counterattack. So this is kind of like Irvine, right? Kind of reminiscent of that, where you kind of want to get hit because you can reduce the damage. So if it's a ranged foe and they initiate against Gotoh, the foe can make a follow-up attack and then also has the desperation. So yeah, it's kind of like Irvine's Refine. So it's pretty good, and it has this amazing damage reduction not only for himself but also for his allies. So Gotoh is no joke. Like I said, he packs a punch. I don't think this is crazy as Fomortiis, because Fomortiis can just stop people's movement like that, but still Gotoh is going to be a really good mythic for sure. We'll have to see how he fares in the meta. My opinion can definitely change. My opinion always changes to a lot of units in this game as the meta changes and evolves, but yeah, Gotoh is still pretty good, having that amazing support for damage reduction and for himself. He comes with Guard 4, which is basically this. It's similar to like Quick Repose 4, where it has a better HP condition and also damage reduction, so that's good. Guard 4 is going to be nice, and then Joint Distant Guard. So Gotoh is pretty damn good. Like I said, not as good as Fomortiis, I'd say, but still, especially because light mythics are pretty competitive. You have stuff like Ashe and Asker and Peony, of course, but Gotoh can make a name for himself, I think, when you're trying to omni tank or just tank AoE specials and stuff. But yeah, Gotoh is going to be one of the coolest and more unique mages in the game for sure, and I'm glad he's in because he's a cool guy. And it's funny because like in Shadow Dragon, where you can actually play as him, he comes in the last chapter, and he's not that strong from what I remember. He's not like the greatest unit, especially because you only get him for one chapter. But in the lore, obviously, like I mentioned, he's one of the most important characters, and I'm glad that they made him very strong. But yeah, there's the two mythics, and there's a spoiler right there. Fomortiis is Lion, and they're both colorless units. Let's go over the rest of the units on the banner. Legendary Edelgard, Legendary Dimitri, Freja, Regan. Who else we got? We have Uller, who's also pretty good. We got Ascended Hilda, who's pretty good. We got Lif. Is that Rearm Lif? I think that's Rearm Lif. Yeah, that's Rearm Lif. Monica, who's pretty good. Arvel, another anima mythic. Legendary Veronica, who's like the best raid mage cav in the game, next to Kade and Lind. And yeah, that's the banner. I think for sure Colorless Pool is the best because you have two of the new mythics. And you also have Arvel, who's also pretty good. Not as good as Fomortiis for sure. Arvel's a solid mythic. I don't think he's like amazing, but he's not bad. But yeah, the Colorless Pool is definitely the best. Next best colors probably blue because you have Legend Dimitri, who's very good if you invest into him. Monica, who's pretty good, and Uller's also pretty good. And then green is okay. Green might be the worst one. I mean, Ascended Hilda gives the floor hit. She has good fodder. Velocity is also really good. But you have Freja and Legend Edelgard, who are both waiting for weapon refines or just better stuff. And then red has Legendary Veronica, Regan, and rearmed Liv. So yeah, green is probably the worst one, I'd say overall. Colorless is best. Blue is the next best, and then red. And then blue. Red is still pretty good though. Regan, if you're trying to merge her up, you get Arcane Sword from Rearm Liv. And Legendary Veronica also has amazing fodder and has, she's a unique mage because she has the enclosure. She's a very strong offensive nuke. She's actually no joke, so you gotta watch out for her. But yeah, that's how I rank the colors on this banner. And for me, I definitely want to pull on this because I want to get Lion. I want to get Fomortiis and Gotoh for sure. But of course, they had to release this banner right after I plus 10 KD and Lin. Like, I'm still recovering from those orbs I spent, So it's kind of unfortunate timing, but either way, I'm happy that they're in the game. And Gotoh is a really cool choice. Like, this is such a cool double mythic choice. Arcanea fans and I we're eating for the first month of this year so far. KD and Lin, now Gotoh, so that's awesome. And he's going to kick ass with Starlight. And like, Fomortiis is just insane, man. Fomortiis is going to be an actual nightmare. I mean, that's why the skill is called that, right? So, the other fortunate part, too, is, like I said, the spoiler. I really wish Intelligent Systems didn't spoil their games for no reason, because they can easily avoid some of these, but they just don't. And I've been seeing some replies under their tweet when they reveal this, like, oh, I didn't play Sacred Stones, so I guess there's that. And I feel, I'm like, no, like, to me, in my opinion, like, if you're Intelligent Systems, right? Intelligent, quote unquote, because I say like that, I call them incompetent systems sometimes because they make some dumb headed decisions, in my opinion. But if you're the part of the draw of Fire Emblem Heroes, right, besides the amazing art, the gameplay, is that you're trying to get people into your series, right? You get a lot of people have gotten into Fire Emblem because of Fire Emblem Heroes, right? And if you're spoiling stuff for no reason, that doesn't really incentivize people to play. That's not going to help. On top of the fact that a lot of the games are very hard to get and Nintendo does not distribute them very well, compared to like Square Enix, who have ported a lot of the Final Fantasy games onto modern consoles. Nintendo doesn't do that, right? So it doesn't really help when they spoil stuff for no reason. I know some people don't care, especially if if it's not a spoiler to you, you're not going to care. But for me, I'm thinking about the whole picture and new players trying to get into the game and who might want to play the Fire Emblem series. If they get spoiled, they're like, well, there's no point in me playing it, or they might find less of a reason, if that makes sense. But yeah, that's just a little tangent of mine. But either way, despite all that stuff, this Mythic banner is amazing. I might have to get some packs or something to get maybe Spark, Gotoh, or Fomortiis, if I don't get them for free, because like I said, I'm recovering from orbs. But yeah, this Mythic banner is amazing for sure. We are getting the anniversary banners coming up and stuff, and then there's also, of course, Hero Rises. So there's stuff that's coming up this year for sure, so you got to be careful with your orbs. But right now, if you are in a place to spend orbs, definitely go on this banner. It's pretty good for the colors pool overall. I mean, like I said, the duds are there, but overall it still is pretty good. I mean, Fomortiis and Gotoh just make it worth it, in my opinion, for sure. And there's also really good units as well in here. But yeah, that is the video and my impressions on this Mythic banner for Fomortiis and Gotoh. Let me know what you guys think down below, and I wish you luck on summoning. If you do, please stay safe out there, and peace out.